All right, so right now we're in Kansas City, Missouri. We are in front of the largest guitar pedal collection in the world. I met Josh Scott through doing the world record pedal board. Straight into the amp, and all of them on. That was 319 pedals. Josh has over 4,000. I'm really excited to play specifically a Maestro fuzz tone is the first I'm gonna look for because that's literally the first pedal ever.
Yeah. I'm sure you've had one of these on before.
I sure have.
Yeah.
Josh, is it fair to say that you're the biggest guitar pedal enthusiast, fanatic?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many pedals do you have, do you think, in total?
Over 4,000, and they just keep showing up every day. Probably closer to 5,000.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem.
Everything in the building is a pedal factory.
Yeah.
This is a room full of thousands and thousands of circuits that are ready to be built. Really, you're in a pedal factory that happens to have this museum in it that turned into a show that won't quit growing.
Yeah.
So you start seeing the collection overflowing here. Secret code.
Cool, we'll make sure to film it.
Wow.
For people that don't know, what is a guitar pedal?
An electronic device that alters and manipulates the sound of an electric guitar.
And for people that are maybe new to electric guitar, that's kind of what modern idea of electric guitar is using a guitar to control effects.
In 1962, you had the first guitar pedal, the Maestro fuzz tone.
Can we see that?
Yeah, so there's a Maestro section over here. The very first guitar pedal, 1962. There is an accident in a recording studio in Nashville. This transformer goes out in a mixing desk. It creates fuzz. It's a song called Don't Worry by Marty Robbins. He's like this country Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in about a minute and a half, this like the transformer goes out and the 6-string tic-tac bass starts fuzzing, and they decide to keep it, becomes a hit. Basically, there's a need to reproduce it because everybody wants that sound, and they invented this. Gibson picked it up, and then they released this in 1962. This is the first ever pedal.
I plugged this into my
So
guitar.
here's the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the first pedal, and it had a built-in cable.
So you had to be right next to it. This is how far away you
had to be
could
that
be.
far away. That's all you had. Big thing here was self-contained effect unit.
I guess it would have been a harder sell if they're like, here's this new thing.
Yeah.
You need another cable for it.
That's max fuzz.
That sounds pretty good.
They could have played crazy heavy music.
Yeah.
With this, yeah.
That's like really nasty, but. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Like way nastier than I would think for, you know, the first
Turn
ever.
it.
We got volume that clicks on and off.
Attack is fuzz.
So I actually have a record to this too. This came to the stores with the pedal because no one ever used a pedal. They don't understand this. And so when you play it, they'll say things like, amazing new sounds with a foot button, and they'll be like self-contained power source, like that's a battery.
Yeah.
Like no one...
So this has a battery in it.
Yep, it uses a AA battery.
Because I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this wasn't made to be hooked into other pedals. Of course it wasn't. There weren't other pedals.
There were no other pedals. Built-in foot pedal switch attaches to your amplifier with a handy jack. Makes possible all those unusual effects with just a touch of a toe. Completely transistorized. This is a big deal because there had never been anything that wasn't tube. Spring reverbs were tube.
And spring reverbs predate this, but they were in the amps.
Yeah.
This is just so funny too, seeing this like
He's in a
this guy.
suit.
Yeah.
I can smell this guy.
Yeah.
It's like a
guttural, mellow, tender, raw.
This is it. This is the origin of my career, the world record we set.
And electric guitar in general.
2 years after this, you have 70 million people watching the Beatles. 7 years after this, you have Woodstock. You go from Andy Griffith show to people on acid rolling in the mud in 7 years. And I credit it to fuzz. This doesn't do well. This was a really hard sell.
I mean, I could see at the time, it's like, why would I want my guitar to sound like
Play something that feels like Buddy Holly or like I Want to Hold Your Hand. This is where it started clashing. No one knew how to use it.
Yeah, and you can tell in this record, they're having to sell that problem because they're like, you can sound like a trumpet, a sitar. But they made like 5,000-ish. Gibson's a big deal. They go out to stores, they sit on the shelves. Around 1963 and 4, they don't sell any. Keith Richards uses it as a placeholder sound on Satisfaction, that riff.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford a horn part for the demo. And because this said you can do horns,
Oh, really?
he tracks the... They think it's a demo. They hear it on the radio. The manager releases it and doesn't tell them. And he's like, oh, our career's over. This sounds horrible.
Wow.
But
that was a
moment,
placeholder for like to add trumpets later.
They suddenly sold like tens of thousands of them.
That year's nuts. Scared of Fuzz, controlled feedback, Foxy Lady. And then 2-3 years later, you have Led Zeppelin. That's bonkers, like escalation.
This sound is so familiar to me.
Yeah, it's like easy listening.
Yeah. Like that type of
Like
thing.
I hear this in Kohl's, you know, buying a t-shirt.
Yeah.
First one. Then where do we go from there?
That Maestro fuzz yeah,
Sorry.
it's endless.
Dude, this is my first guitar pedal ever. The grunge pedal was my first ever guitar pedal.
Oh, really? Look.
Whoa. I didn't even know what distortion was. I was like, I want my guitar to sound, you know, like just because my mom wanted distortion, and they were like, she's like, I don't know, I want it to sound grungy, and they're like, grunge pedal.
In 1965, they tracked that song and it becomes a massive smash hit. The same year, it's a guy named Dick Flick who wrote the James Bond theme song. He walks in with the Maestro and he says, this thing's too brittle, has no sustain, someone fix it. And a guy walks from the back named Gary Hurst. And Gary Hurst takes it, modifies it, and creates a wooden prototype. This is a replica. A real one would be like literally $1 million. There's like 2 or 3 on Earth that I know of. He creates this wooden tone bender thing. There's a few. People like Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck get those. This is what it is. The tone bender. I often say first is not best. The first MP3 player sucked. The first fuzz sucked.
Yeah.
The second fuzz, though,
Way darker.
Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, on and on. And that's where you see this happen. This is a shrine to English fuzz. You could say this is where it really started.
And they're saying, you know, Clapton is God. Ties into why these people are idolized in such a way impactful, because they had devices that were new, making a sound never heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great players. If you walked into a club and saw Hendrix in 66,
And you heard.
you might have only heard guitar go clanky, clanky, hold my hand.
This is one of the rarest pedals in the room, a Tone Bender 1.5.
A different variation that was about a year later.
I hate to do this to you, but the internet would be mad at me if I didn't. How much is this if you want to buy this?
In certain conditions, that could be 10 grand for that pedal.
Is this the same circuit as the previous one?
No, the previous is 3 transistor. This is the 1.5 that's like this weird missing link. And then this is what Ivor Arbiter copied part for part to make the fuzz face.
So these sound exactly the same.
These are literally...
super
a little
bassy.
more low end.
Ivor Arbiter has a shop called Sound City. He decides, I need in on the fuzz craze. He sees a microphone based, a stand. He goes, I'm gonna make a face out of that.
Yeah.
He uses the circuit from that gray pedal, straight clones it. That's a first issue.
The current ones don't have the smile. It doesn't look like a fuzz face.
That's what Hendrix would have played. My assumption, to be honest, is that he liked how it looked. I don't think he chose it because it sounded better than the Tone Bender.
Yeah, because I mean, it is the tone bender.
Like the visual importance of a product.
Like 3 pedals in, this is normal already. And it's just like 2 years.
Yeah.
I like the new ones that they have that are really small.
Oh,
that are
these?
just like yeah. They don't have the smiley face,
No,
but
no room.
what's the most expensive pedal that you have?
The most
Grandpa's
expensive pedal in the room is Tough. I have all the clones made over there.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I had the first clon ever made and sold, and I put it up for $500,000 being a troll, and a guy tried to buy it. So like, is it worth that? I think that's stupid.
if there's 4 really, really rich guitar
Yeah.
players that are going after it.
It's a true supply-demand collector economy,
Yeah.
and it's madness. Rarities
so
are tough.
cool.
I mean, I have a prototype Rat up there. This is unobtainium as well.
Yeah.
There are roughly 12 of these ever made. One got cannibalized. There's probably 8 of these left on Earth.
Wow. In your professional opinion, this is like the most important distortion pedal.
Dude, from Pink Floyd to Foo Fighters to everything.
The rarest rat on Earth. Scott Burnham invents this distortion circuit in the basement of Proco. and there were literal rats crawling around, and that's where
Is
you got
that-
Yep. It's a junction box kind of thing, and they just roughly screen printed. I mean, this is it. This is where it all started. There's a Metallica album where every guitar is a rat. I don't know
really?
that well. All of them. Yeah. Late 70s. Play a pinch harmonic. The rat is like... It's like the juiciest pinch harmonic. Like,
Juicy.
yeah. The rat's a great cross between a fuzz thing and like an overdrive. It's really awesome. All right. Hold on.
It's hard to stop. And
I have your rat pedal that you made.
Pack
the,
rat.
the pack rat. Yeah, I have the pack rat at home.
These stories get me excited, and then I get so into the rat that I lose my mind and travel and interview all these people and then make a thing. It's like constant inspiration. So then you do that a few times, and then you start justifying the room. You're like, I made the muffaletta because I collected big muffs. I mean, it's not good for the collector brain. Then there's like the collections of brands, so like all the love pedals. You know?
All of the pedals that say extreme on it. This is like kind of my era when I started playing guitar. There was a lot of this in guitar stores.
Yeah, this is your era. You know?
Metal, buzzbox, corrosion, death metal.
Every Memory Man model.
The first compact analog delay pedal.
what does analog delay mean in this case?
Before the Memory Man, delays were tape delays. There's a chip, a bucket brigade chip, which basically, a bucket brigade is like firefighters passing the bucket. So imagine your sound is being dumped into buckets and it delays it every time. And then you mix that with the clean signal. This is all clean, this is all blend. So you lose the dry signal. Feedback is repeat, and that's mix. By the time you get to the deluxe Memory Man, you're like in heaven. It's like so perfected.
That's pretty quick.
They're just really trying to do slap, I think.
Yeah.
Just tape. People are playing tape delays and slap echoes. Until this, you had to carry a huge tape echo just to do slap echo.
We need a tape delay.
Whoa. Oh, wow. This is cool. Sorry.
So I turned it on, and the tape's going to start spooling.
Whoa.
This is a copy of the Roland Space Echo.
This isn't a vintage one because we just didn't
It's a
have it out here, but
reproduction
this
that
is-
actually works.
Okay.
They're from the 70s, and they're just pure hell.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
is,
this
is mint.
just for people that don't know, this is like a cassette tape.
Yeah,
and
this-
you're recording onto this tape.
Right here, there's an array of heads, like a cassette player. One records, and then others will play back or record in different ways, and you have different combinations of head 1, 2, 3, or 4. Les Paul invented tape echo. Like he chained machines together like a maniac and made these amazing ways of doing this. So
This is insane to me that this is how it works. Like, this is just total chaos.
yeah, play. So let's go to the first one head. Yep, this tape is moving across different heads. Right now you have a head that's near and it's fast, so it's a form of slapback. Now if I move the knob, you're gonna watch this speed up and slow down.
Oh yeah.
Faster speed means faster tape. Because it's mechanical,
Yeah.
it has to move past the playheads. Slow it down. It's like chorus, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then you get combinations heads 1 and 2. Yeah, you can get into data, your racquetball episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
More combinations of heads. Oh, it's so good. Like, and to be fair, I mean, there's DSP now where there's no difference, but there's something about playing this.
Yeah.
You feel it. Listen to the drive sound. It has an actual spring reverb in it.
Yeah.
There's a tank in this. Yeah. You want to stay here?
I want to stay here for the rest of the day.
We can.
So Boss is here, and this is pretty much every Boss, even down to like, this is where Boss got its name.
The Boss?
This is one of the rarest things in the room, and I have 2 of these.
Of course you do.
This is an acoustic guitar pickup preamp that Roland made, and they
okay.
called it the Boss.
You would plug this thing in, stick these on your acoustic guitar. They're like transducers, and then you could make your acoustic and electric.
Oh, okay.
It's just a preamp.
Yeah, so it's just preamp.
And then when they went to make the Boss pedals we all know, the original name is Meg. If you ever see, you won't ever see it. I've seen one in Japan, in like Boss headquarters, MEG, and they're like, that's too feminine. Call it Boss.
Oh, it has a belt clip.
Oh, got my Boss right here. Yep.
Boss, as we know it, starts with a 1 series. They're big units. So this CE1 is legendary. This is where Boss starts.
And for people who don't know, Boss is like one of the biggest guitar.
It's
pedal
the biggest,
manufacturers.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
that got.
cannot do better than this. This is the perfect pedal, in my opinion. The weight,
Oh, really?
everything.
Okay.
The format, 1977, no one will ever beat. This brand has not changed their font, the style of the case. They have no need to do anything different because it's perfect from 77 on.
Look at how fucking
I know.
huge this is,
Yeah.
dude. You could jump on these.
Yeah. These are pretty rare. That's the Amazon series. Have you
Oh,
Jeff,
yeah, Jeff Bezos'
he
signature
designed
model.
these. These funded him going into space with a cowboy hat on.
What is this? Is this where they plug into the guitar?
Yeah.
Who thought that this was a good idea?
The Boss tone is very legendary.
Whoa. So you would plug this into here.
And then that
Which-
into there.
That's
So,
so weird.
Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah.
Is most likely that circuit ripped out and installed into his guitar.
Rather than plugging it into the input jack where it's going to break the input
Right.
jack and then.
Yeah.
Is this a.
You gotta
Why
hear this
would.
crap.
Why.
This rotates. This has to be played
This
today.
rotates? Why?
Because it has a siren button.
We got to play that one.
This is very rare.
Whoa!
All right, so let me explain.
It's an automaton. Why?
Why not?
Yeah.
So at its heart, it's a fuzz pedal.
Just like the ones we had before.
All right.
Place. Yep.
Yeah. Now, but then there's these 2 buttons.
Uh
Siren and tornado.
huh. Yep.
You heard siren, here's tornado. It's a white noise machine. So like, people sleep to this now. you know?
Yeah. Why would you want this in a guitar pedal?
I have no
To
earthly
like
idea.
start the show where it's like,
No
all right, the
one's-
storm's coming.
No one's ever seen this pedal. This is so stupid.
Okay, well that's a wah. This one makes sense to me. Add a siren in there. Now give me a tornado.
Oh, bro, that's
Yeah.
like a low pass. You could raid with this. This has no historical significance. It's just rare and stupid.
DoD is one of my favorite companies. They're the only American pedal company that survived the Japan brands coming in. Boss put everybody out of business.
Yeah.
But this is the 75th DoD pedal ever made. It was made in his house. There's the serial, there's his home address. This is a form of a DoD pedal no one had ever seen. Everyone and their mom has seen the 250. You see
that's
the
a whole
gray
other
one and
version.
like, you got the gray box. And everybody's
No
like,
big
this
deal.
is the first one. No. This is like the unseen, lost first version. Beyond rare. I would much rather have this than the first klon.
This
is one of the most
made.
special pedals in the room to me.
1973 or 4, Salt Lake City.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
In 74, a bunch of things happened at once because in 67, 68 or so, the op amp's invented, the little chip. So we go from tube amps distorting. No one's heard fuzz yet. Then we hear fuzz. People get over that. And then you have a new style, which is a distortion overdrive. This had never existed. Like, we hear of overdrive and like, yeah, overdrive pedal. These are the first.
Sounds like
awesome.
distortion. Yeah.
This kind of starts creating 70s classic rock, these devices.
So Boss is my favorite pedal company. They stand so far away from the other companies in my brain that they don't count. So my favorite Japanese pedal line is the Ibanez 10 or Power Series. You see things that are famous like the TS10 because John Mayer uses it or whatever. There is a product in here that they made for top dealers and employees, and they call it the Visual Super product. And I looked for one forever, ended up with 3. This is one of the rarest pedals in the room as well. These are not public sell items. There's only a handful of them ever made. They cloned a rat, called it Sound from the USA. And it's just this oddity.
Troll bats don't use.
I collect batteries. A Turkish Duracell? Which is weird because isn't that the Energizer Bunny?
Okay,
Toys R Us? Toys R Us?
Boss battery.
Unused brick of Roland batteries from the 90s. Why is that not exciting?
Yeah.
Older 9 volts are smaller than the current made ones. The reason I know this is when you pulled out the Vox thing you said was useless, the new batteries won't fit in those.
You need a vintage battery.
There was a
to use
reason
those
I had
vintage
that in a
pedals.
little green cup because I had to rip the thing out to shove the battery in and leave the door off. So I can't find a new vintage battery. This is a problem.
Yeah. This thing? Why is it this big? This looks like you would get in an 18-wheeler and this is the gas pedal. And it would still be like, come on.
That's a working man's pedal.
Yeah.
Talking pedal, a speech synthesizer.
You could full body wah. Have you ever full body wah?
No. And it kind of feels like skateboarding. Like,
This is where it gets fun. These are like, you start getting into oddities and rarities, stuff that nobody even knows exists for the most part.
this I know.
This is a real Rangemaster, so this is very expensive. You should play it.
Yeah.
No one ever gets to play one.
What is it? What does it do?
This sound right here with a lot of dirt. It's the sound of Queen.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian May used this.
So-
Red Special into this always on.
Always on.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Queen.
The very Queen, like, oh, it's like,
And then without it would be.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there. Yeah, okay.
You could argue this is the first overdrive.
Yeah.
It's one transistor. The transistor's pretty dirty, biased. And so it's adding clipping. And this is pre any distortion pedal.
Yeah.
64 technically predates the tone bender, but there's some dirt in it.
Yeah, which was unintended, I would assume.
Yeah.
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 How much? I'm sorry. It's just YouTube.
$5,000.
$5,000? This
Easily,
is $5,000? This is crazy.
So yeah, here you go. Let's do the parametric filter. You know, the fuzz tone was first. Then they made like the first phaser pedal. It's not a pedal. It went on a mic stand. It's the first produced phaser. This whole thing is the switch.
It's
You
made
roll it.
for.
It's like NASA.
So it's like
So, like,
you're
set it
supposed
on
to
the
use your
floor.
foot.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, I want my sharp.
The whole thing
Oh
is a
my
foot
God.
switch. This
That's
is
ridiculous.
the worst mechanical idea ever created.
Another planet where guitar players were like 10 times as big.
This is the fuzz pedal. It's small.
Okay, so it's the mid 70s. I'm like, oh, I want a filter and a fuzz. Like,
Yeah, I just, hey man, on this song, I need that drive level on 9.
yeah.
Effortless.
It's not guitar, it's your axe.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Choose the frequency and the sharpness of it. So it's an overdrive pedal. It's an EQ with some dirt.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, like nobody's ever seen this. This is a German crazy thing that like.
This is the Rahard Sixotone sound and effects variator. Very official.
I really like this distortion sound.
They called the fuzz pep.
Pep.
I mean, this is a delay pedal built into a spam can. The spam echo.
That's awesome. And that is like Batman's guitar pedal?
Jimi Hendrix's guitar tech was Roger Mayer. He invented octave fuzz.
Love
when
octave
Hendrix
fuzz.
died, he made a pedal line, Roger Mayer effects. They're shaped like spacecraft because why not? The metal fuzz face.
The metal fuzz face.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need this.
The first klon ever made, and all the klons. Gold horsey short tail, gold horsey long tail, silver short tail, silver long tail. First klon ever made and sold. I mean that.
That's I'm holding a house.
Oh, dude, yeah. This is a better investment than crypto.
You know, I don't really understand why the clons are so valuable.
I don't either.
Yeah.
There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
There's not a supply issue.
Can we just get a number? Yeah.
I had 500 grand on it. It was just trolling and like almost broke Reverb. They actually, like Jim called me. He's like, oh my God, the amount of like getting flagged.
Yeah.
A guy tried to run his card, who's like from Sweden or somewhere, like a black card, tried to buy it. And I said, I'll hand deliver it. I was gonna film it.
Yeah.
And I was gonna buy us a new building with it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an easy 20 grand. Someone will buy it right now. And then you start playing the game of like, does Joe Bonamassa want it today?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does Johnny Depp want it? Seriously.
Yeah. I'm gonna be very careful with this one.
But a clon's a clon's a clon, whatever.
Yeah.
First reverb is gonna be this.
Stereo reverb too. That's interesting.
And then here's the other version,
What year is this?
84.
84.
But this sucks.
That's the reverb?
Max feedback, max delay time, high tone, max level.
That's terrible. That's max? When would you use anything else? When would we be like, I'm gonna put the feedback time and delay time. That's terrible.
Let's see if this is any better. The DoD FX45 stereo reverb, Rob Scallon. Yes. There's never been more proof for my statement, first is not best.
But it was
This led to Boss making the RV2, which was killer.
3 years later, technological evolution.
Now back to the other one.
The better one?
Yeah, the better one.
You know,
Back
but
to
you
this
got-
guy.
Yeah. I love how this wasn't even in the program.
No, it wasn't.
But this is important, really historical. The first digital compact reverb pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year?
87, I think it came out in 86. This is an actual 87 unit.
First tuner ever is the
I would
first tuner
love to play through the first
tuner pedal.
Dude.
Tuner pedal.
Stage tuner.
Wow. Quartz. Oh, because it uses a quartz crystal to.
I've never been more excited to tune my guitar.
I love it's like 50-cent range on each side.
Yeah. We've made better tuners. This is the first tuner. This is the first
Pedal
guitar
tuner.
First pedal tuner.
Pedal tuner.
The first tuner is going to be like Led Zeppelin or the Beatles tuned with this.
Whoa. The first tuner was a strobe tuner.
It's a strobe. Plug that mic in there. You hold that mic up, and then that's how it works.
Wow. Not that it's on.
Like a CB.
Breaker one, man. This is
Hello.
This is Sugar Daddy. I'm done.
I'm trying to tune my guitar right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's tubes, and it gets hot, and it's heavy, and I cut my finger on it once.
Oh, the
Not-
first Crybaby wah?
Yeah. The first wahs were simply the volume enclosure to a Jaguar organ. This is one of the first 100 wah-wahs ever made.
Wow.
Notice that's a sticker. There's the original bag.
What year is
Wah-wah,
that?
66.
66.
There was an amp called the Super Beetle, and there was a mid knob that when you turned it, a guy heard it, it went wah-wah. This is just a mid control. This is a very important piece of history.
It's just volume, isn't it?
It's like barely sweeping the mid.
Yeah.
This is an unobtainium 16-second delay.
Titanium.
I believe the first actual
real
digital.
deal
So
digital.
Electroharmonics is this weird mixture of utter chaos and brilliance. And they have a lot of firsts. Buckle up.
This has a siren in it too.
Okay, so that's a long delay time, which is
Yeah.
wild for this era. Reverse.
Ooh,
Now,
okay.
this is
okay.
insane for the era.
Yeah.
Then there's infinite switch. These are so hard to find because they don't work and they all got thrown away
Yeah.
and now they're so expensive.
Ooh, how much does this go for?
I mean, a good operating one is several $1,000s. Yeah.
A few thousand for this sound. But is it worth it for the tone? Ooh.
Yeah. You have to fight with it, and then you'll find this thing, and you're like, oh, so good. And then you'll never find the sound again.
Yeah. Ooh, I love this thing.
That was called infinite, what we were messing with. So now it's a delay. This is the clock speed of the processor, so.
Yeah, I love this one.
No one knows this exists.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Thailand. He makes working replicas.
No way. Whoa.
Hold the box. Care about the box for a second. Like, that's nuts.
Dude.
This is a Boss OD1. Here's an original.
Yeah, yep. Wow.
So you got to play one of these.
I like how you have to have the adapters.
The adapters are bigger than the pedal. And then to power it.
The battery is just as big as... That's hilarious.
So let's go in. There are no settings. Don't touch it.
Nice. Well, this has been excellent. Thank you, Josh.
Awesome.
If you'd like to continue going down this guitar pedal rabbit hole, check out JHS, one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
That's awesome. I
Yeah, we're just
appreciate
barely
it.
scratching the surface here, so check out that channel if you would like, and subscribe here if you would like as well. I'm sure this isn't the last time we do something like this. I'm tired.
Thanks for watching.
The barbecue, wasn't it? Thanks.
This was fun.
Yeah.